Yeah, I'm drinking coffee at 1 o'clock because, I can. So, judge me if you will. Well, hello, lovely humans. Welcome back to my channel, and if you are checking this out on Facebook or on Wedding Chick's website, thank you so much for stopping by. So without further ado, let's hang out and talk about how to pick vendors for your wedding day. Honestly, figuring out vendors can be really emotional and can be really time-consuming. If you are trying to be budget conscious, you're gonna spend a ton of time trying to figure out who you want to come alongside you on your wedding day. So I thought it'd be a good idea to sit down and chat through a couple of items that may be helpful in kind of narrowing down your vendors. The first thing that you're going to want to do is you are going to want to set a budget. And I talk about this all the time. I probably sound like a broken record. It helps you kind of cut away at some of the other options, which narrows the field, which is great. That's actually a benefit in this particular situation. Budgets help you to kind of cut away the more expensive stuff that you can't afford. So it means you look at less things, which is great. The second thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to sit down with your fiance together or separately and write down your top 3 things that are the most important to you about a wedding day. It could be photography, it could be music, it could be ceremony. Compare your list with your fiance's list to see what matches up and what doesn't, and find a way to compromise. Get used to it, because marriage is a lot of compromise. But find a way to compromise on those top few things to really make sure that both of you are getting exactly what you want out of this wedding day. Sitting down and prioritizing those things helps you to really focus on the vendors that you should be spending more time searching. So if photography is the most important thing to you, spend a lot of time looking at photographers. If you want to perhaps down the line add on a photo booth, maybe you spend less time looking for a photo booth in the beginning because your priorities lie elsewhere. The next step is where to look. Like, how do you even begin to look for vendors? There are so many different options out there. So there's actually a great resource for this on Wedding Chick's website, and it is their vendor guide. Guys, they've got like literally everything on there. They have like actual Etsy vendors. I haven't seen that anywhere, because I know for me, wedding planning was this combination of like hunting for people and basically buying the entire inventory of Etsy's website just collectively. So they've actually culled through a lot of those vendors for you, and they provide such an easy to navigate site for you to just kind of type in what you're looking for within the area that you're looking for, and they just give you vendors. It's not just like a little blurb about who the vendor is. You click on their link and it takes you straight to their website, because that tells me more than a 200-word bio. So I appreciate that Wedding Chicks kind of makes that a whole lot simpler. You click on a person, it takes you straight to their website. It streamlines the process, and then you get to really check out their style and who they are. Once you find a vendor that you're interested in, my top suggestion then is to stalk the heck out of them. Check them out on social media. Follow them on Instagram, kind of get a feel for their tone, for their posts, for what the general style is that they're putting out there. Like, really, memorize their home address, maybe not. Get to know them before you even put out a phone call, because it could tell you a lot if you start calling people before you even know what their style looks like, or before you know what kind of weddings that they produce. That's not going to help you. Like, you may end up talking to a person and not like their style at all. So stalk them. Stalk the heck out of them. A great example of this is photography. There is that dark and moody look that is so like entrancing, and you can't stop looking at those photos. Or there's light and airy and very ethereal, and evokes an entirely different feeling. Don't book a dark and moody photographer if you want light and airy. It's also a really good sign when you're looking at wedding stylists or coordinators or bakers to see a bunch of different types of things, because then that means that they are versatile and they are going to be more likely to collaborate with you on your vision. They can do a lot of different things. So even if you see a country western wedding with boots and sunflowers and that's not what you're looking for, but you can tell that it's done well, then that's a good sign. That means that they can do quite a few different things and probably help you hone in your vision a lot better than someone who may be more of like a one-trick pony. When you do finally set that meeting, remember that the first impression is key. So if you send out an email and it takes them a week to get back to you, that's kind of a bummer. I know for me, I try to get to my clients within 24 to 48 hours. Over the weekend, obviously, it's a little busy for me. But if they take too long to get back to you, that could be really telling about their business style, and that may not be something that you're interested in. So that first impression is really important. How do they reply to your email? Do they seem excited? Do they congratulate you on your engagement? Or is it straight down to business? Pay attention to those details because those are pretty indicative of how your relationship is going to be. And that's where this next part comes into play. You're gonna wanna make sure that your personalities mesh well together, especially when it comes to photographer, videographer, and coordinator. You want to pick people that you like and you want to spend time with, because they're going to be the people on your wedding day that are going to be like up in your face and saying stuff, and the photographer is going to be the person that makes you smile a lot or ask you to smile a lot or do weird things with your hands. I don't know, I'm not a photographer, I don't know these things. But make sure that you like their personality, because if you don't, that's gonna be a lot to process on your wedding day when you're already emotional and tension is kind of running a little bit high because it's your wedding day and it's very exciting. You wanna make sure that you like the people that you're surrounding yourself with. So personality is a very, very big component of that. And not just for your wedding day, but throughout the planning process, you know, you're gonna wanna make sure it's someone who you wanna be spending a lot of time with. When you are chatting with a vendor and you get very strong feelings from them, like they are type A, really detail oriented, and that speaks to you, that's a person you're gonna wanna book. If they are kind of nondescript and, well, you know, we kind of offer something like this, and that gives you anxiety, don't book them. Book someone who's detail oriented, because that's better for you and for your heart and for your planning process than someone who's a little more go with the flow. Knowing your personality is an important component of this too, because, you know, you're gonna wanna make sure someone meshes with you well. My next advice to you is to just interview a bunch of options. Don't just stick with the first one that you talk to, and that can be really hard, especially if your personalities just click. It can be so hard to just say, no, I'm not gonna book you. But just take a minute and try interviewing some other people, because you don't know what is out there. You may find someone who fits your budget better. You may find someone whose personality meshes better with yours. And I know that takes a lot of time, but it is worth it in the end. And that goes hand in hand with prioritizing. If a photographer is really important to you, spend your time interviewing photographers. If a DJ is really important to you and having really good music and having someone, a DJ or an MC that has a great personality is important, make sure you talk to a bunch of people. Or maybe not a bunch, but just enough to give you like a general feel of what's out there. And last but most certainly not least, read reviews and talk to past clients. This one is extremely important. Sometimes people feel a little bit weird about this, especially asking for past clients' information. I'm a huge fan of it. Anytime someone wants to chat with a client of mine, I think that's a great opportunity for them to just hear like an insider scoop on how we performed on their wedding day. Watch for that initial reaction if you ask to talk to past clients. If they're like, that's probably not a good sign. It's kind of a gutsy move and it takes some chutzpah to do it, but if you follow through with that and you find out that past clients are actually really, really pleased with that vendor's services, then that's a good thing. Reviews are another great way to check that out. I would not book a vendor if you have not read a review or talked to a past client or two. Their style might fit yours, personality might be a great match, but if they haven't done this before or if their past clients aren't satisfied with their services, that's probably not the risk or the gamble that you're going to want to be taking on your wedding day. So there you have it, folks. Just a handful of tips on selecting some vendors. Hopefully that list helps you out. If you haven't done so yet, like this video, subscribe to this channel for more tips and tricks for the modern day bride. If you are watching this through Wedding Chicks, either through their website or on Facebook, go ahead and give us a follow on YouTube. Jump over, search my name, Jamie Wolfer, and you will find us. Subscribe to this channel. As always, huge shout out to my gal pals over at Wedding Chicks for hosting this video on their website. Oh, if you want to check out the vendor guide, I'll leave it in the description box below, or if you're on the Wedding Chicks website, it should be in the drop-down menu up above or off to the side, depending on if you were looking at it from your computer or from your mobile device. Guys, filming in high-waisted pants was not a good idea. Why do they have to be so cute? Until next time. Bye, guys. That was a lot of waving. What do you think?